Okay. We are here with the SMSL, VMV, VA2. All right. Letters. So apparently when SMSL wants to be fancy, they stop calling themselves SMSL and call themselves VMV. And then this is the VMV VA2 desk-top headphone amplifier. So let me disco tech this thing for you right now. Without a doubt, the best physically built this is the VA2 of desktop amplifiers. The gapping around the volume, and then the way those sit there in the pinhole, and the fact that this is machined out of a single piece with just a bottom plate, and then the way that those RCAs line up with the gold trim. It's not even a trim, it's just the reflection from the machining is gold, and oh fuck yeah. And it's got some weight to it because I believe that they are using part of this as a heat sink for it. It doesn't get very hot. Yeah, this is the VA2 of build quality of headphone amps for desktop. The back is real simple. RCA left and right in. You got a 12 volt DC in. You got a big ass switch for power on and off. The front is dual 1/4 inch, but they're not the same. This is high impedance, this is low impedance, and there's a picture of a headphone here with a little pinhole, and that pinhole is the blue LED that shows power. And then you get this flush, slightly raised yet flush thumb wheel-in volume control that is super silky smooth. Yeah. Alright. So I'm feeding it from my Emotiva DAC. You can feed it obviously from any DAC. Standard transformer. Blue. At least, oh god. At least when you put it down, the blue just lights up like a channel on your desk. It doesn't hit you in the eye. Now, the interesting part of this is it has the 2 1/4 inch. Now I've seen it on one or two other things, and I really like the system. Instead of having a high-low gain or a high-low impedance switch, you get just 2, and then you can't screw it up. High impedance, low impedance. The end. Can you run them both at the same time? Well, you should be able to, and you can. I don't know if you'd want to. It isn't exactly for sharing. If you had 2 identical headphones, 2 600s, you'd have a problem trying to use the low impedance on these. But, there you go. Let's unplug. And let's put these monoprice IEMs in my ears, which I haven't done that in a while. But I was testing just now. Oh, they're so skanky. They're so skanky. You see, the benefit of having a high and low gain or a high and low impedance and actually having a super separated one is that things that require very finite power get it. And they get it without noise. I forgot how good these monoprice earbuds were, or IEMs. Max power, oh! Alright. So I maxed the power, and I was still able to listen. Let's switch to the high impedance. Yep, about noon. Oh, yep. About noon is as high as I could go. For much more sensitive things. In fact, the numbers are officially low impedance from 5 ohm to 600 ohm, and high impedance from 50 ohm to 600 ohm. Because impedance and driven power and all that fancy math doesn't really matter. Because they'll both end up at 600 ohm, and you could have easy to drive 600 ohm, I guess, and hard to drive. It's fine. IEMs use a low. Even really, really efficient headphones, my 2000Xs worked pretty well on the low. But put it on the high. Oof. 1 o'clock. It's so clean. Oh. It's not super expensive. 140 shipped. So a little bit more than like a K5, a little bit more than a bone stock Magni 2. I mean, the form factor is small. It does work like, I've been actually using it like this if you watched any of my other videos, my previous videos. Because as long as you can access this gain, actually it is a gain knob, it's a volume knob. You can put it in that orientation as well. I can fault nothing wrong with it, except for it's low. Even the high impedance is low gain. Because if you look at the numbers here, 32 dB, ugh, my god, 32 milliwatt, 32 ohm, wow, I'm having a seizure. 32 ohm, which is like the standard where everyone judges power output, on a Magni is 1,200 milliamps, or 1.2 amps. On a Magni 2 Uber is 1.5 milliamps. And anything under a watt is sort of like, well, it's under a watt. This is only on the high output, 330 milliwatts, so a third of a watt on high. And then on the low output, and here's where it's important, 120 milliwatts at 100 ohm. I'm sorry. So 330 at 32, 75 at 32. That is extremely low power. That's the benefit of this, is you can take extra efficient stuff and it'll push clean. How does it work with the T50 RPs? Well, it doesn't. A FIO E10K will push these better than this will. They both push it pretty shittily, but even though this is externally powered and a dedicated thing at $140, it is not powerful. What it is beautiful and clean when it can push. I mean, I'm using 600s. These are 300 ohm. And at 1 o'clock, Eminem is screaming in my ear. So don't think just because it doesn't power T50s it isn't a good headphone amp. It is a good headphone amp. It's just those are absurd. Alright, we got to keep in mind the absurdity of those. Anything below Mark 3s, I would run TH900s off these. I'd run the 600s off them, I just did. I'd run Alpha Dogs. I'd probably even do Mad Dogs, my original Mad Dogs, because the Mark 2s were more efficient than the Mark 3s. So pretty much, this will push any headphone on Earth, minus the Mark 3s or anything in the real hard to drive 600 ohm. Don't quote me on that, just sounded good when I said it. Do you want one? It's up to you. Easily replace this with a Magni 2. Easily put a K5 in there. Easily put a PHA. This the digital volume one. It's SMSL again. Only that one I know will push anything. So why am I even looking at this? Well, because it's beautiful. And because it's clean. The total harmonic distortion plus noise at 1 kilohertz is 0.0003. Yeah. And then I think the worst it gets is 0.0008. My god, filthy. With a signal to noise ratio of 122 decibels, which means basically machines can't even fucking hear how noisy this is. This thing is insane. It's half a kilogram. It's pretty heavy. It's weighty. And it's beautiful. And it's powerful. Did I tell you it's pretty? Beautiful. I love the way this knob works. Thank you, phone. Fuck that blue LED though, man. Right its ass. Not every headphone amp needs to be a super powerful monster. This one is specific for low impedance. And it should say low and then medium, and then high should be something else you buy. Super high. You're going to buy this if you like the looks. You're going to buy this if you don't have Mark IIIs. It's going to be in my list. It's in my list already. My headphone amp DAC list. Because it works flawlessly. The volume knob, perfect. The form factor, I love it. It's nice and small. You could deal with this. Headphone amps are hard to review. Yes. Yes. Talk about the SAP 6. Well, the SAP 6 has more power. By leagues. But this is definitely cleaner than the SAP 6. Much as I love the SAP 6, I trust in the numbers on this one. And if you're one of those people who needs the numbers, look no further.